Hello everybody, what is up? It is Christian here on PlaystationFollower with some pretty terrible news. Visceral, if you don't know, has been responsible for games like the Dead Space series, and they were working on a brand new Star Wars game led by Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig, if you don't know, is a former lead of Naughty Dog. She created Uncharted and was the lead director for Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. So back when EA acquired the rights to Star Wars video games, and they announced that Battlefront 1 would be coming out, and people learned that Battlefront 1, the reboot of the classic Battlefront franchise, would not have a campaign, they got super worried, as they should, and EA said, hey, don't worry about that because we got Visceral working on a story-centric third-person action-adventure game Amy Hennig's working on. It's gonna be great. Well, that was going to be the case until this morning we learned that Visceral's getting shut down and the Star Wars title is being given to a different studio in EA. I'm pulling from the Jason Schreier Kotaku article talking about EA shutting down Visceral Games, which details some of the information about the shutdown, as well as the statement regarding the Star Wars game. EA's Patrick Soderlund is quoted as saying, "Our Visceral studio has been developing an action-adventure title based in the Star Wars universe. In its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based linear adventure game." Sidebar, this is exactly what I want out of a new Star Wars game. Continuing to quote, "Throughout the development process, we have been testing the game concept with players, listening to feedback about what and how they want to play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. It has become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come, we need to pivot the design." And I really just don't know where to start on this. So in my head, I'm thinking of it like this. EA wants to take a Star Wars game being led by Amy Hennig, one of the best single-player producers for any game series ever, and they decided to scrap that idea for a more Destiny or Division route. Now, I'm not saying that I would not be interested in playing a Destiny or Division-style Star Wars game. I would totally be interested to see what someone would have to do with something like that. However, I would really prefer if it was not at the expense of a single-player, narrative-based Star Wars story that would be canon with the series and be led by Amy Hennig. Speaking of Amy Hennig, they have released nothing in terms of explaining whether or not she's still involved with the project. Instead of a single-player focused Uncharted in the Star Wars universe game, which sounded great, they're scrapping that, sort of reworking it all to be a game as service, Anthem, Destiny, Division, wannabe, chaser. There's a lot of things to talk about here, but first off, they already have Anthem coming. People have super high interests in Anthem. I'm not one of them, but the internet is very, very hopeful about the success and potential of Anthem. So the only reason EA would really need another game as service type game like this is because of the Star Wars name. Shifting away from single-player and moving more towards multiplayer service-based games is something that's been widespread throughout the industry for the past few years. We've seen things like Ubisoft's games like Ghost Recon or Rainbow Six Siege do this, stuff like Overwatch has come out, and we even have word that Final Fantasy or Nier Automata might be going that way in the future of their franchises. Star Wars has a history of being fantastic games based on worlds and lore and characters that people get so attached to. Just look at things like KOTOR or The Force Unleashed or any other Star Wars side story that wasn't in the films. And here I want to talk a little bit about the future of Star Wars games because right now I have no idea what my interest will be in them. I love Star Wars. I'm looking at 2 Star Wars posters right above my desk right now. I love Star Wars so much. It's a fantastic series, it means so much to me, and I love a lot of Star Wars games. Personally, I was really looking forward to Star Wars Battlefront 2. It looked to improve everything that the original did wrong, and I still had fun with the original to some degree. So it looked to be really cool. They were showing an interesting side story for the campaign, and that's where I become very conflicted, because I was excited for Amy Hennig's Star Wars game way more than I was for Battlefront 2 in the first place, but Battlefront 2 seems to be doing something very interesting with their campaign, and I want to see that story be told. I don't know how to respond to this, because you hear the phrase vote with your wallet all the time. I love Star Wars, and like I said, I'm very interested to see the campaign of Battlefront 2, but I don't want the future of Star Wars games to be solely focused on multiplayer. Like I said, I would be more than happy to check out a Destiny-esque Star Wars game that's an online MMO, but I still want the contained, tight experiences that are being told as a narrative. So myself and anyone who finds themselves in my situation now have to face themselves and figure out, okay, do I want to buy Battlefront 2 and support this future Star Wars series of games from EA that is so multiplayer focused, or do I vote with my wallet and don't buy Star Wars out of protest for them shutting down this studio and the game that we could have been getting? It's a difficult question to answer. There's no sure answer. I still don't know what I'm going to be doing yet, but I want to talk to all of you guys about this. Please comment down below, let me know what you think. Are you as furious about this as I am? Are you excited for Battlefront 2? Were you looking forward to the Amy Hennig Star Wars game? Anything, just let me know what you're all feeling on this, because I really am at a loss for words for how outrageous this is. If you agreed with me, I would very much appreciate it if you shared this or liked it. Check out our Discord and Patreon. You can find the links to both of those down below if you feel like supporting us or want to get more one-on-one time talking to us. But with all that being said, greatness awaits, and I'll see you all in the next video.